Hello, my beautiful souls of love and light, my dearest friends. This is Princess Nenari, Princess of the Sea, here with another video for you. Seems divine inspiration seems to be following me wherever I go these days. I'm always being in spirit, inspired. The inspiration flows through me, and as the creative being that I am. So, with that, I usually have people who join me in such inspirations. And recently, what has come to light is a woman who I mentor, Ananda, has recently written to me asking a question, inquiring about something, and having to do with being love and being light. And also, I happened to stumble upon late last evening some of our love letters between my beloved troubadour and I, in which he asked me a question once in June of last year about love and light. And so I'm kind of going to speak about this, about what is love and light, and also there seems to be a catchphrase around about being love. My beloved often talks about rather than being loving, be love. And so what does that really mean? So we're going to explore that in this video today. And so the first part of this is, part of the letter or the letter that my beloved wrote to me back in June last year. And he says this, he says, here's a question for you. We use the terms love and light as workers, meaning light workers. What is your personal definition of each of these words, and what is there, if any, differences between the two? Now, my response back to him in part was to say that, to me, I don't really have a personal definition. For me, because I am so inspired and I am so much in the moment with source, and I allow whatever's coming through me in total creativity within that inspiration, within that vision, within that wisdom to occur. That's how I live my life and be in each moment. So for me, I don't really have a personal definition. To me, it's source's definition, and I live through that and live in that. So I had put that what I can say about it is love is all there is. Love just is. Love is free from being an emotion. It is a state of being. It's a resonance of being. It's a way of being in the world. It's not so much an emotion. We tend to think that it is an emotion. We feel it in human experience through our relationships as an emotion, but love itself is actually a state of being, a resonance of being. Although in human form, love can and does have many infinite expressions and emotions, and all of this too is love. Love can heal anything, for all is already and always healed in all ways. Love is everything and nothing all at once. Love includes all and excludes none. I would also say, if you want to know more in deeply words, that of what the master artist says to me and through me of what love is, I have written Song of the Princess, which Song of the Princess is the mirrored companion book to Song of the Troubadour, which my beloved sweet troubadour wrote. And he asked me to write Song of the Princess. And I explain in there what channels through me, course through me as to what the master artist has to share about what love is. And I use these words interchangeably, the master artist, God, source, spirit, all that is. They're all labels, all names for the same thing, for the same source that flows through us, which is love. To be this love is the expression of light. Light is the beacon within the darkest nights that shines, guiding all to the shore of love. Love and light is who we are, and is expressed within infinite forms of creation, of the master artist giving birth to this love again and again. Free from being any difference between the two, as they are mirrors and expressions of one another. They are one. They are one just as we are one. One with the master artist, one with all that is, and one with one another. For truly there really is only one of us here, one of us within infinite expressions that we call human consciousness, or a tree, or the dirt that's on the ground, or a flower, or a chair. All of this is love. Both love and light are ever constant, steady, and always, in all ways, there. Infinite and vast is the sea itself, and regardless of seas or seasons, is always there. As my beloved sings in one of his songs, he calls it, "It shall always be." So that love, that light, it shall always be. My beloved sweet troubadour also wrote a letter to me back about 4 years ago now, in which he expressed love being in a sacred path relationship to mean this. He wrote to me this: love is witnessing the very master artist, expressing all within time and space, proclaiming what real love is. If a man and a woman are to join in the sacredness of why she is the melody and he is the harmony of this song, only then shall real love be exchanged. The master artist has given its all for such lovers to entwine. Think it not strange why Song of the Troubadour has been born? My role is not to hang on a cross, yet if I am honestly to pray, thy will be done, is it not fair that I also go on such journeys of the heart? If you are to ever marry, if you are to marry, let it be because such master artist has given the song of your heart to be perfect harmony of what his being proclaims. And so that is love coming from a romantic sacred path relationship, as well as, because romantic relationships and all relationships, mother, father, daughter, what have you, whatever relationships, love is also what courses through it and is it, all expressions of it, romantic and in all relationships. And in the wise words of Rumi, my beloved, in a former life, my beloved sweet troubadour is Rumi, and in that life I was one of his devotees. And he also, in another life, is Khalil Gibran, and I was Mary Haskell, his lover. There is a book out there called Beloved Prophet, which is the story of their life together, our life together. So in the wise words of Rumi on love and light, he says this: let us carve gems out of our stony hearts and let them light our path to love. The glance of love is crystal clear, and we are blessed by its light. Now, within this, we often talk about, what is it to be love, rather than being loving. Well, from an earthly standpoint, we see being loving as, someone trying to get something from someone, in the sense of, oh, I'll be really loving, and oh, let me love you, and let me, and, when people do that, sometimes it seems to be, fake, in the sense of people perceive it as that, because it's coming from a place of earthly, trying to get something, trying to get a need met, trying to reach outside of yourself and bring that love, try to get love from someone else and then bring it within you so that you can be happy, and you place your happiness and responsibility for your happiness upon someone else and what their behavior is, in order to feel happy. And that's the kind of love that is, of earthly origin. And that's being loving from an earthly standpoint. what we're being asked to do when we are asked to be love is to be God, to be like God, to be like God thinks, to be like Source thinks, to act as Source acts. My beloved has a song called What Would Love Do Now? And in it, he says, I will be as love will be. I will do as love will do. I will, act and think and be as love is. And it's really asking the question, what would love do now? What would God do in this moment? What would God say in this moment? There's a saying out there that God says, you are my beloved, within whom I am well pleased. And in my own life, that sums up how I am with my beloved sweet troubadour. When I am loving to him, it is being love in that sense because I see him as God. And therefore, because I see him as God, I respond as God would respond. So I would say loving things, and nurturing things. And I do this with all beings, not just my beloved. I am this way with everyone. Some people have come forth to me before in the past and accused me of being fake or, because I call people love. That's just an Australian thing. I had a friend many, many years ago who was Australian, and I have many, many friends around the globe, who are from Australia and whatnot. Anyhow, and that's just a saying, it's British also. It's just, you say love. Some people say my love. I only say my love to my beloved. So that's just something that, is between him and I. Or I call him my beloved sweet troubadour. That's something that's between him and I special. But I call him that because I see him as God. As God sees him, I see him. And so this is the invitation to be love is to see that person or that situation or that thing as love. And so then, of course, your automatic reaction is going to be loving. And so being loving is then a part of love and being love, being as God would be. In other words, if you do something in your life that, is totally awesome and you share it with me, as God, I'm going to respond as God would respond. So I would say, hey, I'm really proud of you. Wow, I love you for that. This is fantastic. Look at the detail you put into this. This is beautiful. That's something God would say. That's how God would respond. And so when I'm being loving in my life and I am being love, that is the place I'm coming from. And this is the place that I invite you all to come from because this is who God is. And so when we are speaking in that loving way, it is God coming through us. It is Spirit pouring through us in inspiration. Inspiration means being in spirit. And so from that, Ananda had come to me and said that she was feeling that she was looking outside herself when reaching out to someone in her life. And so she was trying to see it as only an inner experience. And so my response to her was this, and I put that I understand such. Remember something, though, that what is to occur is that it is to come from within you first. Then it is a reaching out. So you looking outside of you is actually okay. There's a misnomer out there that says, oh, if you're looking outside, you're reaching outside of yourself, then that means, you're seeking love outside and you're not coming from within. What I was explaining to her is that it's okay if you're looking outside because it's an outer experience we have in this world. So what I further said to her is, so looking outside of you is okay just so that it is coming from within first, then out, rather than from outside trying to get something first and then coming within. Many think that when we are to look within, we are to stay within. And that is true to a point, because you do always want to stay from a place from coming within your heart, within you, of the love within you first, rather than trying to get something from someone. However, because we have an outer world of experience, it is only natural that when we look within, then it's going to manifest without. or outside of us in our outer world. And so then without or in our outer world of experience is where it will manifest. So it is to be both in balance rather than in either or, because we live in a give universe, and we live in an both and universe rather than either or. Love includes all. So it's always both and it's always in balance rather than either or. Either or is of the ego. So long as you are coming from a place of within, then reaching out, that reaching out then to someone else or to something else is okay because it's coming from within. It's creating inspiration within you and coming out. So this is what it means to be experiencing being love, being as God, being source, being light. So I will also share that within attachments and unconditional love, within relationships, in being love, attached love is conditional love based upon how you feel. So in other words, if someone's nice to you, then you'll be loving. If someone is not being nice to you, then you will lash out and, be unloving. So it's based upon circumstances and conditions. That's attached love. That's conditional love. Unconditional love sees the God in another and loves the beauty of seeing them as God. And there's a movie that I recently watched a few months back, and I'm hoping I pronounce it right. I'll spell it out too. It's called Rab Ne Bana De Jodi, and it's spelled Rabnabana Didi, and it's one of those indie movies, Indian-based movies, and it was a beautiful movie, and it was just about this very thing. And about 2 hours and 16 minutes or so in, there is a question that the woman asks the man, because in this movie, basically, he unconditionally loves her, no matter what, and she ignores him. She's downright cruel to him. She, does all of these things, right? But he still unconditionally loves her, makes breakfast for her every day, is just totally, loving and being love, being as God would be. To her. So she asks him, she says, how can you be so happy? How can you love me without expecting any love in return? Don't you feel pain in love? And his response to her is this: pain? Love is God's gift, so how can there be any pain in love? And about expecting love in return, one doesn't love only if love is reciprocated. Look, I see God in you, so I fell in love with you. And as well as about 2 hours and 28 minutes in, a little further into the movie, when she realizes that she's fallen in love with him because he has been unconditional love all this time, in being and seeing her as God, and being this, to her and with her. She then says to him, I see God in him. It's possible to leave a man, but how does one leave God? Wherever I may run to, God will be present. And wherever there is God, he will be there. And this is how I feel about my beloved. And I know he feels about me. And really, this is how we are to feel about the one that we love in terms of a romantic relationship, and also with all beings on this earth. And this is what it means to be love, to be as the master artist is. What would the master artist say? What would the master artist do? What would the master artist act? What is the loving thing to be in this moment? And that's what it means to be love. And so I invite you to be that love right here, right now, in this moment. I was giving this invitation out to everyone in our satsang circle a couple of weeks back, and one of the women who was in the circle that evening said to all of us that she was going to start out small and start with 10 people that she felt she would start doing this with. So I give you that same invitation. Start with 10 people. Choose 10 people in your life, either close to you or not close to you, and then branch out and be that love. And, sometimes it's going to come in a different way than you feel that it might. And that's okay. Whatever the inspiration is that's coming through you in the moment, be inspired. Allow it to flow through you. Allow it to be. Because that is who God is. God, source, spirit, master artist, all that is you. You are God. Um, I'm free from being a big fan of the Bible. I was indoctrinated into it in the Catholic faith. Both my beloved and I were brought up in the Catholic religion, and both of us left the religion because we are free from believing in the indoctrination of it. However, we do resonate with passages in the Bible because of what their meanings are in our lives. Not just our lives personally, but in the lives of all. And Jesus said in the Bible, ye too are gods. We are all God. We are all source. So let's be it. Be love now. Espava.